Yeah, hey guys, so Romie here. This is the recap for Love and Hip Hop Season 6 New York Reunion Part 2. And before that, I want to talk... I'm excited but also kind of nervous for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta to return next Monday. Only because, I don't know if you guys saw the super trailer, but the show seems really produced. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone looks good. It doesn't feel like a reality show anymore, just by looking at it. And I'm like, okay, so the drama isn't by the original cast, so they had to bring in all these new people to incite some new drama. So it's like, well, except for Carly Red, because she always has something going on. But let me know what you think about that. Oh yeah, and by the way, please like, comment, subscribe. So let's jump right into this. So the reunion picks off where it left off, which is where Amina admitted the fact that she is pregnant, and it happened relatively after she had the abortion with Peter. It was like it just happened. I'm like, no, it just happened because you didn't wear protection. You slept with the man that you said you didn't want to have a baby by because... okay. Yeah. So anyway, aside from that foolishness, you have Cardi B, who... well, yeah, and Tara and Amina were just arguing the whole time. They were arguing the whole time about each other. Tara was like, how the hell are you gonna go here and say this and that, but you had an abortion and then had another, and having another baby with the same person who you had the abortion with because you said you didn't want to have his child. And I'm like, okay, Tara, you're not wrong, but I just didn't want to hear from you. I personally just didn't want to hear from you. Now, it switches from that, because that was draining, to Cardi B. Cardi B was the comedic relief for this season. She really didn't have much of a storyline, but she really didn't need one because her personality shined through. Now, aside from all that, we have Cardi B, and she's just talking about her relationship with Self and how, you know, they were cool, they were bros, not bros, but they were kind of like in a pseudo relationship. Self was her side piece and she understood what it was, and it was just like, just be honest about it, and he wasn't being real about it. She also talked about how Tommy did feel a certain way, but it was like Tommy cheated on her, so she cheated on him, so now they even. And of course they also brought up the whole being a hoe thing, or accepting your hoe-ness. And it was just like, at the end of the day, these guys are calling themselves the Creep Squad. They're doing and saying whatever they want. And so it's like, why can't the ladies also be able to do so? And here's the thing. I agree that the double standard is ridiculous, but I feel that it shouldn't be as glorified. That's how I feel. Maybe we shouldn't come down as hard on, let's say, someone who's like, oh yeah, I do this with him, do this with him, do this with him. And what? Because he does this with her, does this with her, does this with her. But it can't be to where it's like, yeah, that's alright, just slept with 10 people and, you know, the last month, not a big deal, not committed. It's like, ooh, slow down a little bit. But that's not what they were saying, that's not what they were promoting, that's just my personal stance on that. Now, Cardi B and Peter, they do get into it because Peter was on this whole, well, you know, how can you go and say that, basically, like, being a hoe or having hoish behavior is okay. You know, everyone's just watching like, okay, how's this start? Because Cardi B was getting into it. Because Cardi B was like, you're not going to play me. How's this going to work is, you were off and, oh, apparently Cardi B is, what is she? She's Trini, she's some type of Hispanic, and she's from the Bronx. And so, there was like, there's so many different dialects that culminate into what hers is. And so, that's why it's so unique. So that's why I was like, you know, Cardi B could be a rapper, because first off, you need a unique sound, and she has that. We just have to take her seriously, because her music isn't bad. It actually isn't. Her music was better than most of the people's that was on the show this season, to be honest with you. Production wise, lyrical content was okay. Yeah. She definitely has a message that she's trying to put out there. And this message for this reunion was, Peter Gunz, I am disgusted with you, is what she was saying, because at the time, she was over the fact that she just felt like, you know what, of course, Carla, Tara, and Amina had their parts to play, but at the end of the day, you were the one who was consistently going back and forth, yo-yoing between the two, playing these women. One smart, Amina's super talented, Tara's super smart, and you decide to do what you want to do, and now they're pregnant. That's a blessing, but still, at the end of the day, it wasn't right for you to go and play these women on TV like that. And Cardi was just saying, you know, this is just based off what I've seen. I do not know you, so there is that. And one side of me was like, Cardi, calm down. Calm down. Come on now. Just relax a little bit. Just relax a little bit. But the other side of me was like, you know what? She's speaking the truth. She's not saying anything that we all didn't think. So I was here for it. It did come a little bit out of left field, but I do like the message. I do like the message, so that's why I'm sticking by her. Next, we had Yorma. See, DJ Self finally came back to the scene because remember after that blow up on between his girlfriend or pseudo girlfriend or whatever and Rose, we didn't see him again really for the rest of the season. But he's back. He's back, and he's here to talk about his relationship. DJ Self, long story short, gets around. He really shouldn't be committed to one person because a lot of the ladies want him. So, if it's available, and as long as you're not committed, what's the problem? And that's kind of what Cardi B and Mariah Lynn were also saying. It's like, so what's the issue? Why? But his main issue was that at the end of the day, he was a committed relationship. Well, partially committed relationship. Yorma didn't realize that he was off with Cardi B, off with this one, off with that one. And it was just a mess. Cardi B was like, you know what? I did feel played a little bit. I understand the side piece. I understand what the situation was. But at the end of the day, here's how it worked. As long as I... As long as I got what I wanted, which I did, because these dudes be getting whatever they wanted, and so why is it that they can get whatever they want, but we can't ask for the same? You know, for guys it may be ass, for women it may be jewelry. What's the problem? But that's what she was actually saying to Peter, and that's why he kind of started to go off on her, but then she went off on him. But Cardi was just saying, you know, the best revenge is for her to go and officially have him. That is the best revenge, because then she'll see the issues and she'll have to deal with it for herself. And I'll be good. I'll be on this other side like, ha. Yeah, and I'm like, you know, that's very mature. That's very mature. Is it petty? Yeah, but it's pretty mature. And Rose is here for it the whole time because, you know, Rose doesn't have a problem with Yorma. Yorma really doesn't have a problem with Rose. It's just that they mutually thought that they were kind of messing with the same guy. And then it got really messy. That was what happened. At the end of the day, it was like, look, I thought this relationship was different. But Self was like, Yorma, you don't remember when you were like, oh, we can't be together, we can't do this, we can't do that, and so you did break up with me, so if I went and did stuff with other people, what's the problem? And I was like, so now we're seeing the other side of things. It's like, alright, you see, there's always two sides, well, there's always three sides, but you know what I mean. And Rose was just like, I did what I did, we did have sex, because he was trying to play it off. He was like, I don't remember. She's like, yep, yeah, it happened. It was like, anyway, like all of that actually mattered. We get to a scene that we didn't actually see yet, which was Yandy and Mendici and his mother and his kids all going to the courthouse. Ooh, excuse me. So, the day that Mendici's was to be arraigned. I think that's how you say it. And it was really sad. It was really, it was a hard part to watch because it's just like everyone initially is trying to fake the funk, but then the truth comes out. The truth comes out is that Lil Mendici's mother feels has been overstepping her boundaries, and it was apparent. Yandy definitely was overstepping her boundaries in certain ways, like just picking up Mandisi's baby mother's son from school without letting her know, and little things like that. And also it's like, okay, so he's invited to this party but you're not, type of thing. And I do see why some people are just like, Yandy does do some under the counter type of stuff and then throws the rock and hides her head. But it's not like what Yandy was doing was really wrong. It just wasn't necessarily considerate to the baby mama. But then again, we have no idea what some of the things that Yandy has also done for, of course, Mandisi's kids that she didn't have to do, that was going above and beyond for her Call of Duty. So that's the other part. Long story short, Kim and Yandisi's mother, they almost got into a fight because it was just like, Mandisi's mom wasn't having it. It was like, your daughter don't communicate with us. Not only does she not communicate with us, she's the type that goes and she doesn't want her son to see his father. And Papu stepped in and was like, look, I understand that you want to protect him, but at the end of the day, he needs his father. He needs that type of relationship. Romie was like saying the same thing. She's still not budging right now. As of now, she's still not budging, especially after that almost fight occurred. It was ridiculous. He was like, do you guys actually want to see this family be broken up? Is that what it's going to take for you to then realize, oh crap, we went too far? Because... And then Yandisi's baby mama apparently went to jail, served time in jail. What was it, for fraud or for robbery? It was for something crazy. Cardi B knew. No one paid attention to her, but I heard it. I was like, okay. Okay. So there is that. But again, the whole situation was messy. Mandisi's made the bed, now he had to lie in it. As a result, his family has to pay for it. It really is unfortunate, but I mean, that's life. You can't just go do a bunch of bad stuff, redeem yourself a little bit later on, and then everything gets wiped away. That's not how life works. But shout out to Yandy, because Yandy does seem like she's honestly holding it down. So shout out to her for that, because clearly it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It is not fair to her. And just how everyone is acting, I really understand her struggle. I really understand her struggle because they were doing way too much. Yandy was talking about how she didn't know that Mandisi was going to go and do that whole rapping thing. But it actually turned out well. Originally she was like, no, don't play yourself, don't play yourself. But again, it turned out well. So shout out to him for that. Everyone goes around and just talks about their last words. Well, really not everyone. It was really just like Yandy and Cardi and maybe one more person, maybe Peter as well. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that Peter was like, yo, self, you have to commit yourself to one woman. And of course everyone was like, what the? It was like, you know, I had to say. I know. Don't throw rocks. Cardi B actually apologized to Peter and was like, you know, it was out of hand, it was out of line. I did feel a certain way about the whole situation, but at the end of the day, I do know that I'm only seeing what I'm seeing on TV. I don't know you. I don't know your family. So I do apologize. And he was like, you know, I respect that and I accept that. I understand how it looks and how crazy it actually is. And I also want to apologize because I have some kids that are older than you. And so for me to go and react the way I reacted to you, that was definitely disrespectful and underhanded, some of the things that I said to you. So they squashed it right there. I was like, oh, look at that. Two grown-ass real people. I can always respect that. Rich was like, you know what? I'm going back to LA. I'm going back to Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I will be getting 2 checks from Amina Scott Young. Yes, 2 checks. 2 chains? No, 2 checks. 2 shows. And I'll be getting my girl back, Monique. So I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't know if she's on the same page, but alright. yeah, so that was pretty much it. Stick around because I will be doing reviews for shows like Empire. Please like, comment, subscribe. Also for Love and Hip Hop New York, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and a whole bunch of other crap. Really just subscribe and see what I have going on. Thanks.